What's up, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at some upcoming TP-Link hardware that may already be available in some regions and is not available in my region, so I can't get any of this stuff. But who knows? I think it's coming to the United States soon, as well as Canada. And we're just going to start off going through the list of tabs here and talking about each of the things that you can expect to come out and I don't know what they have to potentially offer. So first up on the list is we have a new Omada controller, hardware controller. This is the OC400. This thing looks pretty bonkers, and it says that it can centrally manage up to 1,000 Omada access points, 200 Omada switches, and 100 Omada routers. Now, some of you are probably wondering why you would want to manage more than one router. So I think this one, the point of the OC400 is to also have multi-site management. So if you have other sites that your business operates with, maybe locally or even far, or across state lines or internationally, whatever it may be, I think this can do that. So that's probably why they've included the 2 times 10 gigabit eSFP plus ports, which is pretty wild to think about when all of the predecessors have gigabit ports, but they generally operate around 100 megabits per second. Or at least the amount of data anyway, and the network speed didn't seem to really matter on the previous OC 400s. So now we have, give me 1 second here, probably should have closed this first. Now we have 10 gigabit options, and it also has 4 gigabit Ethernet ports as well, and 2 USB 3.0 ports. So I believe this will operate in failover. So these 3 USB ports will actually, if you have like a 4G or 5G WAN USB connection, you can now have failover with that. I'm pretty sure that's the point of that. Not 100% sure. These are just things that are coming. Also has redundant power. Awesome. Really cool to see. That really makes it a true enterprise device. And of course, you can also manage this thing in the cloud too. So that's the new OC400 hardware controller that's coming. Next up on the list are some wireless access points, and we're going to start with the EAP683LR. I assume LR stands for long range. What's really cool about this is now we have the new slim profile access points coming out, and I think that's going to be the new trend moving forward. Now, just based off the pictures, which it's really hard to tell, it looks like the diameter of this thing is still true to what we've seen previously. These absolute, chonker saucers, but at least they've slimmed down a lot. I know there's been lots of complaints in the past about these things being absolutely too massive, but hey, they're a little bit slimmer now, so that's cool. So this one is a Wi-Fi 6 only access point. I'm not entirely sure why they're still releasing Wi-Fi 6 access points. I guess there is a market that still needs to be filled for that. I don't know if we're going to spend too much time on this one. The most interesting thing that I can pick out of this is that it has a 2.5 gigabit E port here. That's kind of cool that this port's 2.5 gigabit E. I don't know. Nothing too exciting, I don't think. So let's move on to the next access point. So this is a EAP615 in-wall. So we've seen these before. This one looks way different than any of the ones that we've previously seen. So this is also Wi-Fi 6. It has multiple gigabit ports. Let's see if we can get a picture of this. So we have a gigabit port, and it looks like a phone jack, which is interesting. So I wonder if we're going to maybe get VoIPs or something in the future. I'm not entirely sure what that call would be for, but it also has these strange looking icons maybe on the rear of the device, I assume, or maybe that's the front. Yeah, this is the front. Sorry. This is the front of the device. I'm not sure. Well, I guess you would plug into there. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here because I think you'd plug into the bottom, or unless these are LEDs. I'm not really sure. Or maybe these could be, let's go back. These could be covers of some sort. It looks like they have a little clip here. Maybe you pull up this window. That's a possibility. And then you can plug in. Just guessing. Yeah, so it says telephone, Ethernet 0 for PoEN. Not really sure what to expect here. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see this. I would actually kind of want to get my hands on this. So this says multiple gigabit ports, connect multiple devices with 2 gigabit ports, 1 uplink, 1 downlink, 2 RJ11 ports, ideal for indoor telephone line use. Maybe this is for like a hotel. That would make sense. A lot of hotels still have landlines, so I guess if they want to connect this to their phone system, they would be able to use this device kind of like an all-in-one thing, all-in-one unit. So that's pretty cool. Looks like it's pretty deep. Double-sided metal heat dissipation for efficient. That heatsink looks massive. Absolutely massive. Oh, man. But I mean, it seems like it's pretty capable. It does Wi-Fi. So yeah, this has got to be for like a hotel. All right, let's move on. So we have another EAP772. This is a ceiling-mounted access point, also slimline. This one's Wi-Fi 7. Everyone's excited about Wi-Fi 7. That's the new hotness that's coming up. I think this one has a 10 gigabit port here. Actually, why guess? Yeah, 1 times 10 gigabit. So this is a 10 gigabit port, which is great to see. I think we've seen this before previously. Now, looking at this, I think this is going to be even larger in diameter than the previous access point we looked at. It looks pretty big, but it still maintains that like slim line look to it. Really hoping I get my hands on this one from TP-Link. They haven't really confirmed they're going to send me anything, and I've been asking like, hey, can I get my hands on this? Look at this thing, 220 millimeters wide. Woo, that's big. I think this one's going to be really exciting. I'd love to get my hands on this one. A lot. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to test it in a true like business or enterprise environment, but we should be able to see what a single stream can do with a 10 gigabit backplane. Hoping to push this thing and get near, that 5,000 some odd megabits per second or whatever it is. That would be awesome. So this is the EAP772. I think this is actually already available in Europe. I've seen some chatter online about this. But it's not currently available in the United States. Now, the EAP773 is also currently available in Europe, I believe. This one I'm also looking forward to get. These are tri-band access points. I don't know what the difference between the 772 and the 773 are. Maybe it's a regional difference. This one says EU, so this one could be specifically for the EU, so maybe have different DFS channels. It may even have different power requirements or operate slightly differently. I'm clicking on these images and they're not loading. Come on. Maybe even has different power. I'm not entirely sure what the differences are, but we'll assume that the EAP 783 and 773 are the same. One's specifically for the European region and maybe one for the United States or other regions. We have new outdoor access points. So this is the EAP625, another Wi-Fi 6 access point. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that we'd get a Wi-Fi 7 outdoor access point. We already have enough of the Wi-Fi 6 versions. Not too big of a deal, I guess, that they're releasing a new one. It is interesting this one's different, has external antennae, unlike the previous versions. So the previous ones, in my opinion, had good range, especially the EAP 650, I believe it was. I don't remember which version, but there's a slightly newer version. I thought that had pretty good range. It worked pretty well out to about 120 feet, and then it really started to taper off on the 5 gigahertz band. So I'm wondering if this, with these larger antennas sticking out, will be able to get more range out of them. Not sure. This is interesting. It specifically says it's IP67 weatherproof. I actually don't remember if the... let's see if we can look real quick. Now I'm curious. EAP 615 outdoor? We'll try 650 outdoor. Yeah. All right. So no antennae. Yeah, this one isn't IP60 anything rated. Interesting. So maybe that's the difference, or one of the new changes, because that would make a lot of sense. It doesn't look like a lot has changed. Well, actually, a lot has changed, I would say, based off the physical appearance of it. So IP67 rating. Okay. Let's see. It looks like it uses the same mounting mechanism, so that's cool. Please expand. Let's try. Yeah, looks like this has the same mount, so you can probably just do a drop-in upgrade. That would be cool. This one says it can support up to 1,000 clients. At what speeds? Don't know. maybe I can get my hands on that one. Now we have a return to the classical design, the one that we've seen previously. It looks like it also has the same mounting mechanism. So you can also do an in-place upgrade. This one says long-range coverage. This one also says long-range coverage with 2 detachable antenna. Interesting. I wonder what the big differences between these two will be, though. Maybe region again? Yeah, the only difference seems to be the detachable antenna. I'm not really sure. Oh, wait. And? Well, it's just difference in text. Okay, well, not really sure what the differences between the two are, but we are getting 2 of them. That's cool. Honestly, I prefer the non-antenna versions. It's just less stuff to grab onto, less things to break. Doesn't stand out as much either. It can be a little bit more obscure of what kind of device it is, depending. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would look at that and immediately be like, oh, that's Wi-Fi. Maybe they would. Not entirely sure. But we're getting a new one. That's going to be exciting. This one explicitly says long range. So if I get my hands on that, we're going to test that. And the goal is to beat out 170 feet. I think that's about the limit of the previous devices, where you would probably get 10 megabit per second if you're lucky. I don't really remember the speeds, but it was not very good. Even the connection at that distance was very flaky. So if we get a new long range one, that'd be cool. I'd love to just have one set out or actually we could set out 2. We could set out the previous version and this version and just see which one lasts longer through storms, still functions after getting beat up in, well, I guess some water in the storms. Let's see. We have new switches. So there's a lot of new switches. So this one's actually can be plugged into a UPS, I believe. So come on. Let me see the picture. So this one's interesting. Oops, I skipped it. Sorry. So it's got 12-volt battery connections right here. So I'm guessing we can hook that into a UPS. It even has a battery switch. I don't believe that it has onboard batteries. At least, I mean, it could, but I doubt it. Let's see here. It's 10 gig. Yep. So we got 10 gig uplinks, 4 10 gigabit SFP plus ports. Optimized voice and applications, security, static routing. That'll be nice. I know a lot of people really want to have static routes. Yeah, I don't think this is going to have it. Yeah, so supports a complete lineup of layer 2 features, blah, 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 blah. Static routing. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really go into too much detail of quite exactly how this works. Interesting choice, I guess, to add a new switch with gigabit Ethernet. I'm actually curious to know if you guys are at all interested in something like this, and if so, if you are interested in a UPS switch, what would you use it for, and why would you use this over just a traditional switch plugged into a UPS? I'd really like to know why. Anyway, that's a new one coming. Static routes, huge plus. We have a 26-port stackable switch. So let's get a better view of this. So it looks like you can plug in a bunch of SFP modules. It has dual Ethernet ports here. Maybe those are to serve as uplink ports. And then we have USB as well, 2 USB ports. So physical stacking for built-in redundancy and performance. Security, ACL, high availability with 2 field replaceable power supplies. Oh, nice. Oh, they don't show us. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, did they not show us the back of this thing? Holy cow. I'm guessing these are also power supplies, but you could. Oh, no, these are definitely the power supplies over here. What are these? Replaceable fans? Is that what this is? This is crazy. I guess this thing is going to push. Well, yes, it has an 820 gigabyte backplane. 6 times 25 gigabit SFP 28 slots. All right, so that's making a lot more sense. And 26 S10. Wow. So yeah, we have an RJ45 console. That's cool. An RJ45 management port. That's awesome. We have our typical USB console port. I don't really care for these types of console ports. Oh, this is USB-C. Never mind. That's a lot better than the micro. I was thinking micro USB in my head. Those micro USB ports suck. So USB-C would be dope. Now that's a nice upgrade. I wonder what these two ports would be for. Maybe like doing upgrades? It's kind of weird that you would do it like that, but hey, you know, more power to you. Rack mountable. Man, I am not going to go through all this. We'll have to look at this in the future. I don't think I'll get my hands on one of these, but whatever the case, we know it's coming. All right, on to the next switch. So we have another one. This one's pretty sparse on details and pictures. Looks like it's also upgradable with SFP modules. We have a quad SFP plus ports here, presumably for uplinking or aggregation between switches, and also some RJ45 ones. Looks like this one actually has a micro USB connector instead of the USB-C one. That's interesting. Oh, what did this switch have? We didn't even check. That, I can't tell what that is. Micro USB. See, now this isn't good. It looks like we're going to have some differences between switches, and I do not like that. Hopefully they standardize with USB-C instead of using both micro USB and USB-C. I don't know, not too much. Static routing, I know that's pretty important to a lot of people, so we'll point that out specifically with this one. 20 gig or 20 times gigabit SFP slots. I don't know. Not for me. I'm sure somebody out there would know what they would use this for, but I'm not sure. And then we have another switch. This one is also a managed switch, redundant power supplies. That's always great to see. I don't see anything off the cuff about static routing. 16 ports, all of which are 10 gig capable SFP plus slots. That's cool. Let's see what this power. Oh, so they're non-replaceable power supplies, unlike the really nice switch that we saw earlier. But hey, still redundant, still nice to have. I definitely like that about one of the routers I have from them. All right, so we have another 28 port gigabit switch with also SFP slots here. Not too many pictures available for this one. I don't really know what to make of it. Just another switch. Yep, no pictures. Static routing. So that could be very important. That why they have this one now. So for all the people out there that really want static routes. Oh, we have an LP and a P version. So these two are basically the same. 150 watts, low power, 250 watt power, but it has more ports. No, they're both 28 ports. What is the difference? Oh, this one has 24 ports with PoE plus. Okay, that's the difference. And this one also does static routing. So this one does more power, explains the 250 watt budget, power over Ethernet budget it has, unlike the 150 watt power of the Ethernet budget. So that's kind of cool that you can pick and choose, you know, which device you want to have more or less power, you know, kind of tailor it to your environment. It's kind of strange. Like, I feel like you would just turn off the PoE ports that you don't want to use to save power. I don't know. It's just a strange option. Low power versus power, or the high powered version. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that, I guess. Like, why you would choose one over the other if you could just turn power over Ethernet off anyway. So we have another switch, another desktop switch is cool. This is actually a 2.5 gigabit switch. It's got 8 ports at 2.5 gigabit per second, which is awesome. It's got 2 times the SFP plus 10 gigabit capable slots. That's great to see. It's got a very healthy power budget for power over Ethernet devices. 160 watts out of this tiny little thing. That's going to be cool. I know it looks like it might even be fanless, which would be great. There's a surprising amount of you out there that like these desk/wall mountable switches, and if you have like one of those like Soho racks, this would be perfect. Something, you know, really small. You know, you get 2.5 gigabit for, you know, a lot of people have 2.5 gigabit internet available to them now, so this would be a pretty good upgrade for all of your computers in your house. I think a lot of people in the home lab community would be very interested in this switch specifically. Hell, I'm very interested. I kind of want it, but I already have that 10 gigabit switch sitting above me. All right, so there's some new stuff. I don't think they've had this before, or these options are available. So we have 2 bridge kits. We have a wireless bridge with 5 gigahertz capable of 867 megabits. This one says it's long range indoor outdoor with a IP65 only rating. It's got some lightning protection, but you can take that stuff with a grain of salt. So this is cool. 3 ports. Pretty simple. Not really too much to see. I just like that they're adding or giving us the option to do some wireless bridging between 2 points. So this one says it does 5 kilometers. That's pretty far. Oh, this has PoE also? 3 Ethernet ports. 3 gigabit ports. No, it does not. It does not do... Wait, it supports passive PoE. There's an adapter. I think that means you can power the device with power over Ethernet, not that it can power other devices. This picture is a little bit misleading to me. So I guess... Yeah, okay, I see now. So the solar panel is supplying power to the camera and also to this device, and then it's connected to the switch and PC. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And there's 2 cameras plugged into this. For a minute there, I thought it was saying the opposite, where it was, you know, putting power into here and then whatever. And then the device was actually powered to devices. So yeah, point-to-point bridging. That'd be cool. They use a farm specifically. I actually know quite a few people that have this, that are in this situation and would love to have something like this. So a point-to-point bridge would be cool to have. And then we have another kit. So this is the 211. Also, this one says up to 1 kilometer versus the 5 kilometer. So I'm guessing this one will be discounted or a lot cheaper. We're only starting off with IP65 rating. I kind of wish they would just start off with 67 right off the bat. I think they're pretty much the same in terms of what they support. We can actually scroll. Yeah, so they're using the same imagery. The only difference is here is that the range is significantly reduced. But this would be cool if you have... I don't know, like a pool that's really far away and you don't want to run like something that's over like 100, 200 feet. You don't want to run a cable underground. You don't want to bury anything. It's a lot less work. You can just set up a point-to-point bridge. That's really cool. I wish I could get my hands on these, but I don't know what I would do with it. All right. And then last but not least, we have another, did I show you? No. This is, we already looked at this. This is the previous model. So anyway, that's a lot of new devices coming up. I'm pretty excited to see what we get. A lot of this stuff I think is going to be overkill for the home lab community. There are some interesting stuff or switches that are coming up, specifically, where is that? This 2.5 gigabit switch. I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to something like this, although we do have a 10 gigabit switch available. So I'm wondering what the price point of this new fanless 8-port switch is going to be. It's got to be cheaper than the 10 gigabit option that only has 4 Ethernet ports and then 2 SFP plus ports. So if they can get the price, you know, somewhere, I don't know, maybe around 150 bucks, this would be a pretty good deal. I think a lot of people would jump on this for the home lab. Everything else is pretty business oriented. You know, the new access points are obviously going to be cool. The Wi-Fi 7 ones, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that, but they look massive. We will obviously do a size comparison when we get our hands on those, but I'm not really sure what else is out there that the home lab community was specifically interested in. If you guys are interested in any of these specifically, be sure to drop a comment down below in this video and let me know. So with all that being said, guys, I think we're going to end this video here. I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.